What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs podcast. Unfortunately, talking Browns football today.
Excellent.
Second therapy session of the season. We were hoping not to have one of these for at least a few more weeks, at least not in this type of way. But unfortunately, we're Cleveland fans, and this is a big reason why we started the podcast to begin with. So we're going to dive into everything that went wrong in the game. Not a lot to talk about, if anything, that went right. At least the Guardians clinched.
There we go.
AL Central champions.
Yes.
Buckeyes still look good. So it's not all doom and gloom here in Ohio, but as far as in Cleveland, it's not looking great right now. We're going to dive into everything, give you all of our thoughts, tell you where we think it went wrong and where it's going wrong for the Browns in general. Before we do, though, remember, if you want to get your intros and your voicemails on this show, head to thedogspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail in the drop-down menu. You can also find our merch store there. Speaking of merch, we got this cool football on the desk now. This is a pretty sweet thing. If you head to thedogspodcast.com/football, it'll take you to the link to this. It's got our dog logo on it, and on the other side of it, it says the Dawgs, a Cleveland Browns podcast. So it's a pretty cool thing. They partnered with us. They reached out and said they'd make us a custom football. And we're like, why not?
Hell yeah, bro.
I never had a custom football for it before. So if you think that's cool, you want to order a football, ship it to us. I'll sign it and send it back to you. I think it's a pretty cool thing. So if you want something for the man cave, you want to help support the show, it's thedogspodcast.com/football. We'd really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you have that notification bell tapped so you don't miss any of the new content we put out. If the season continues this way, you're going to need weekly therapy sessions, and you don't want to miss any of them. So make sure the notification bell is tapped. If you prefer to just listen to the show, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, and Google. You can also find us on all the social media platforms. Just search at the Dawgs Podcast. Lastly, if you're looking for more Dawgs content, head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, get access to the private Discord, get to be a part of the Dog Pack Discord episodes that everybody seems to like. You get to be on the episode, give your thoughts live, get to be a part of the show this season while we preview upcoming opponents. So we really think that format's been cool. The first couple of weeks we've done it, everybody seems to enjoy it and getting to be a part of the episodes. So if you want to be a part of episodes, you want to join that private Discord, you want to play fantasy football with us, head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member. We also had a new Dog Pack member just joined, going to be out in Vegas, looking to link up. So I screenshot. If anybody's going to be in Vegas, I know Ashton the Joker on YouTube said he's going to be out there, and Brad C said he's going to be out there. If you're going to be in Vegas and you want to link up with myself, Kenny Mack, John Nye's going to be with me, used to be on the show all the time. The easiest way to do this is going to be if you go to the Backer Bash. It's the Browns Backers Party out there Saturday night from 5 to 8. Maybe we'll post these, share this on our social media pages too, but it's going to be at Flanker Kitchen Sports Bar, South Las Vegas. I think it's the Strip, or at least close to it. I'm not sure. I'll find out when I get there. But Phil Taylor, former Browns, going to be there doing autographs. He's remained diehard Cleveland fan since he left, which I think is awesome. So I'm really looking forward to meeting Phil Taylor. Going to have photos with chomps, giveaways, raffles, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I plan on doing Saturday night, at least from 5 to 8 p.m. out there in Vegas. So if you're looking to link up, you want to meet me, Kenny Mack, John, anybody else who's going to be out there, show up to this Backers Bash and you'll find us. So that's going to be the easiest way. And then from there, we can make plans, link up throughout the week, that kind of thing. So looking forward to hopefully meeting a bunch of you guys out there. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully the Browns play a lot better than they have in 2 of the first 3 weeks of this season. But I digress. We're going to dive into everything, tell you where it went wrong. We do have a bunch of voicemails to get tonight. So to kick things off, we're just going to hear from some of you guys, your thoughts with a couple of voicemails.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is something going on at the lake, and it is not a good thing. You know what I think we're missing? I think we're missing Bill Callahan, Stump Mitchell, and a medical team, injury team, rehab team, whatever the heck you want to call it, Cleveland Browns Stadium. I think that's what we're missing. First play of the game, great. Next 45 plays of the game, terrible. I have no idea what is going on. I think that this game, the next game, and the game after that are all trap games, but man, oh man, that was horrendous. I don't care that we almost came back in the last quarter. We had so many opportunities to gain yards, score points, and we lost on all 3 phases of this game. Defense, offense, special teams. We made Daniel Jones look like a top 10 quarterback today. Emerson, horrid against Malik Neighbors. Don't know why we kept playing him on him. But hey, this is Mick from San Diego. We need a change, and we need to change fast. Man, disheartened. Oh.
Thanks,
what up, Mick?
Mick, yeah, and then we'll just hit one more here real quick. So this is Khalil.
Okay.
What's up, Brown fans? Khalil here. And before I begin, I just want to say I'm a huge Kevin Stefanski fan. I never wanted him fired and never wanted him to give up play calling. But after these first 3 games and how bad our offense is, I think maybe letting a Ken Dorsey call the plays since he's called plays for Josh Allen. He's been around Cam Newton during his best years. And now with Deshaun Watson, they clearly have a similar style of play between the 3. And I think with his experience of calling plays for that style of quarterback, it might be the best way to go. Granted, it'd be under the same offense, but a changeup might be nice there. And I also understand that the O-line being as bad as it is doesn't help anything. We gave up 8 sacks last game against the Giants, and I think we're up to 50 quarterback pressures for 3 games already, which is terrible. So, yeah, what do you guys think? And also, if you had to rank the 3 issues to why this offense has been struggling between quarterback, head coach / OC, I guess you can say, and O-line, what would you rank those 3? Thank you guys and have a good day. Peace.
So to kind of go back to the first voicemail, I did want this is embarrassing, by the way, but he touched on that first play. So the Browns were 1 play, 24 yards, first drive touchdown. Okay. The next 30 plays, they had 25 yards.
Yeah.
Inept on offense. We have a worse offense than the Carolina Panthers.
We do now.
Yeah, so we do now.
Who I don't know if you heard, they just benched their quarterback. Welcome, Mike Dane, YouTube Dog Pack. I always forget to mention that. So the fact that anybody joined, thank you. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awful. In terms of the medical stuff, I feel like I've been saying basically since year 1 of this podcast that the Browns, I have a tough time blaming a medical staff on injuries because it's a contact game. People's bodies are different and all that good stuff. But at the same time, we're clearly not doing something right in terms of how we attack strength and conditioning and rehab and all that good stuff, because it is unreal how many injuries the Browns have every single year. And I don't know if there's a way to look it up. I said this in our text the other day, the Browns have to lead the lead in the last decade in hamstring injuries. I don't know if I've ever seen a team have so many hamstring injuries. When Jack Conklin gets ruled out the day before with a hamstring injury, like how is this possible?
During a walkthrough?
A walkthrough.
During a walkthrough? Like, do we not stretch? Do we not rehab? Do we not do preventative things to make sure the body, like what? I just don't understand, because again, I understand injuries happen. It's a contact sport. These guys are like physical specimens and they got fast twitch muscle fibers and things are moving and they're big guys and all that stuff. But man, there's a lot of teams that don't deal with the amount of injuries that we deal with on a consistent basis. And I feel like you can break it down into like 3 categories. It's always the same injury. The hamstring one is crazy. How many hamstring injuries we have. It's unbelievable.
It really is.
Just to touch on the injury thing, like when you were saying about conditioning. Sorry, my voice is completely shot, by the way, from yesterday. But
from booing,
yeah, I did try to get loud in the 4th, real serious. But if it's a conditioning thing, like if we're worried about protecting the health in preseason and like leading up to the regular season, like for me, I'm looking at it and going, not only are we missing chemistry on the field, I think, as far as the team, but also like, is this part of it also? Like, were we not game ready? Are we not game shape? We sure as hell didn't look in game shape week 1. You know what I mean? So the Conklin thing, I think maybe it was just trying to get back onto the field. He literally just got back, and losing him in a walkthrough the day before the game was devastating, especially seeing now with the results of the game. You're like, oh my God, we were tissue paper out there, the low line. But I do think that maybe there's something there. You know what I mean? If it means the guys aren't ready to go as far as their body and they're like, I think guys kind of need to get hit a little bit just before you roll them out week 1 and let them go full 100%. So I think you're right. I think there is something there 100%.
Was that you who said today, like, it's like trying to run a marathon without training or something?
I don't know, maybe.
Sure.
If it sounds smart, it sounds like something I'd say.
Okay, I couldn't remember who said it today, but I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Like when they roll these guys out there week 1, full go, 100% speed and everything at the NFL level, it's like, you're not ready for this. Your body's is not conditioned, and we're seeing it. Like and you've said it a lot here. I think our offensive line is old, old.
I mean, obviously Bitonio is old.
Yes.
Okay. The offensive line is an issue. And then to move on to the second voicemail in terms of where do we think, like, would it help if Ken Dorsey called plays? I don't know, because
is it still the same offense?
Is it still? Yeah. And here's the thing, in terms of ranking issues, obviously the offensive line is an issue. They're turnstiles out there. DeJuan Jones put together one of the worst football games I've ever seen from a professional football player in terms of a line play. He might as well just not have been out there. It was awful. That being said, I said this today. It's on the quarterback. It's on the quarterback, because Kevin Stefanski we couldn't run the ball last year. We had a banged up, awful offensive line the last 8-10 games last year. Okay. We couldn't run the ball. I mean, what was our yards per carry last year after Chubb went down? Like 2, yards over expected or something. Jerome Ford was in the negatives last year.
Yeah. Negative 0.02.
Okay. So we had virtually the same wide receivers. We're technically better at wide receiver this year in terms of we added Jerry Jeudy. Okay. Yeah. So what's the difference? It's the quarterback. And then you can say in the offensive philosophy. Last year, it was play actions, boots, run fakes, getting Joe Flacco on rollouts, all that good stuff. It was a Kevin Stefanski offense. And yes, we've talked about this a million times. Like, I don't think Joe Flacco is the answer for the Browns, and he threw a ton of picks. But the offense didn't look incompetent in terms, like, we moved the ball. And we moved the ball with a whole bunch of backups, hurt guys, a 40-year-old quarterback off the couch, the same receivers we have this year minus Jerry Jeudy. But we put up points. We were pretty explosive. We were mistake prone because of all the things I just mentioned, but we didn't look incompetent in terms of the offense. This is the worst offense the Browns have had in. Statistically, we've never had one. We went 1-31, and that offense was better than this offense. The difference is the quarterback, and they're saying, "Well, we're not running the ball. We're not." I know. That was the point of this year. That's why we don't have our old offensive coordinator. What was his Van Pelt?
Yep.
That's why we have Ken Dorsey. The problem is we went out and we hired all these offensive guys, and we hired Ken Dorsey to come in and tailor an offense around Deshaun Watson, so he could take us to the next level. I don't think he's good enough to do that. We tailored an offense for a guy who's not good enough to run that offense. And we said it all offseason, at least I did, was this team will go as far as Deshaun. It doesn't matter how good our defense is, how good anything is. This team will go as far as Deshaun Watson takes us. And right now, Deshaun Watson is a bottom 3 to 5 quarterback, and we are a bottom 2 offense. It's right there. It's facts. You can say yes, the offensive line doesn't pass block that well. He's supposed to be good enough to make up for that. We are not leaving running backs in to help chip. We're not leaving tight ends in to help chip. We're not getting them out on the perimeter. Yeah, because he's not good at that. We build an offense. All we heard all offseason was, we got to let him play. Kevin's got him under center, doing all this stuff. We got to build this offense. Let Deshaun cook, go out there, let him play. So we did it, and he's not good enough to do it. And this is what we're seeing. And I don't think it gets better. I think this is, this is basically, you might see flashes like we saw against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a bad team, okay, but to consistently do it, I just really don't think consistently it's there. That's not the style of team. First of all, this offensive line's getting older, and then they're not a pass blocking team. They were built on the concept. They're run blockers, maulers, Nick Chubb, play action boot. So we tailored an offense to a guy like Deshaun. We don't have any difference makers on offense. We don't have a Malik Neighbors. Okay. We don't have anybody with any top end speed like that. Like Amari Cooper is a very good wide receiver, but he's not explosive in terms of like, you just fear this guy. You just put this guy out there, and if he's one-on-one, it's game over. He's getting 19 targets. Okay. Yeah. We don't have anybody like that. Deshaun's supposed to be able to elevate these guys. This is supposed to be a wide receiver group that is plenty good enough that if you have a top 5 QB, they're pretty darn good. We're making all these arguments of like, well, the line's not doing great. We don't have any speed on the outside. We sound like we're defending why Baker's not playing well. Well, you know what I mean? We used to say, well, you're never going to win in the NFL if you got to have a top 3 offensive line, 2 number 1 wide receivers, a top 3 tight end. You know, that's just not feasible. Now people are trying to make all the same arguments for the Deshaun. We've just gone in circles. And I defended Deshaun. First of all, even though I am saying this, I still think it was the right move to try to get him because we had to try something. But it's clear to me that this isn't it. It's clear to me.
I'll let you talk here in a second. I don't disagree. I don't disagree one bit. But being on social media and stuff, which was probably mistake number 1 the last day or 24 hours, but it seems like everybody wants to they want to find one person to blame. And I get like Deshaun didn't play well at all yesterday. His whole offense sucks. They suck. There's so many people. Oh, we should have kept Flacco. Oh, we need Jameis. Oh, we should have kept Baker. Oh, we should go trade for this guy. Oh, we should sign this guy. Tannehill. I'm sorry. Who's executing any sort of competent offense behind this offensive line? I mean, this is not a defending anybody. This is a blame all around situation. Because 36 on 36 plays, the Giants brought pressure. On 24 of those, we allowed the pressure. 8 sacks. 8 sacks is the most the New York Giants have had in a game in over a decade.
They only had, I want to say, 5 or 6 coming into this game.
What the hell? Are you serious?
My pushback is our offensive line at the last 8 games last year was arguably worse. And we didn't give up these sacks. So much of this, I was texting you guys this. Deshaun's been blitzed like 60 some times. Yes. You know why? Because teams know they're not afraid of him. I don't know if he knows anything pre-snap. He's been blitzed 60 some times. Have we seen him make one check at the line? One audible? This is an offense tailored to him, supposedly. He's supposed to be the master of it. There's no pre-snap anything. It was full apparent on the RPO on 4th down. He pulls it, and they cut Judy off, and he just panics. If he is watching anything, he has to know, like, okay, RPO, I've got Judy coming across. If this guy cuts off Judy, that means Akins is wide open. Jordan Akins is still open.
Yeah.
Right now. I don't think he doesn't see anything. I don't know if he knows how to read a defense. Every game I watch him play, the more and more I think it is he just used to run around and just play backyard football when they were losing.
I also think that there's some truth to whatever somebody said. Gosh, I'm sorry. If you're out there, remind me who it was. After the Cowboys, our first live, they said it's like after Tiger Woods had his whole off the field situation and then his career was just, he just couldn't do it anymore. It destroyed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
similar.
You couldn't blitz Flacco last year because he'd just burn you. This guy's blitz on, just hit this guy quick and we'll score an 80-yard like to David Bell. Yeah, against Jacksonville, that kind of thing. Like, so yes, there are problems. We're not blocking well. We're not doing this, but that's because this offense is built for this one guy. This one guy is supposed to be the cog in the machine that makes all this stuff okay. And he's so deficient that it's just making it all crumble. And at this point, what do? You can't, the only thing you can do is put in Winston and hope he can actually like look at a defense and know where to go with the ball in a set amount of time. Deshaun holds the ball so long, and he used to get away with it because he could just run around. Well, he can't do that anymore. Even if he does run around, he's not accurate with the ball most of the time anymore. And so all you can do now is you put Jameis out there. Yes, the line's not going to be blocking much better, but they won't have to block as long. Okay, and if they're going to blitz, maybe Jameis will recognize it and get us into a play, and we'll burn the blitz a couple times. And now, like, they can't blitz us 50,000 times every single game when we're on offense because we've burned them a couple times. It's just, it's bad. It's bad. And I said it yesterday. I just fear that we're just a bad offensive football team, and I don't know if there's a way to change it in the season. You're in the season right now.
Yeah, I watching that game yesterday, I know you were there, Justin.
Sure. Yeah.
Watching it at home though, I just like what the fuck is going on right now? I think I saw people posting this too on like Twitter. Like we were gaslit all summer about this offense from this team. Like, and it's not just, it wasn't even just the coaches and stuff. It was the players. Like Njoku, like, hey, what's the offense going to be? I was going to be juicy. I was going to be all touchdowns, lots of touchdowns. There's no freaking touchdowns to go around. We struggle to score any points. We haven't sniffed 20 yet. This is supposed to be some high-flying, high production offense, and we're going to score all these points and all this bullshit. It's not happening. It's not there. I know, like, I kept trying to think about this yesterday. I was like, okay, last year we kind of overreacted to that week 2 loss in Pittsburgh, because things just kind of deteriorated. Yeah, we didn't play all that great. Yeah. But we still controlled the ball. We still moved it. We still picked up first downs. We scored. We were winning into the fourth quarter of that game. It was a strip sack on a Jed Wills. Of course, it was Jed Wills, blown pass rush and everything. Whatever. We lost the game, but we kind of freaked out about it. This feels totally different because this is our starting unit. From the gate looks inept.
Yes, there's a difference between that, whereas like, okay, especially because we look so good in week 1, then we come out and you lose Chubb in the way you did, and it's deflating.
Yes.
And
it was more situational.
Yes. Yeah. And then we bounced right back.
Yes.
And we still look like a good football team.
That's the thing. Yes, we came right out against Tennessee the next week and beat the shit out of them.
And it was like, okay, we're still a good football team. You're going to have some. We don't look like it doesn't look like there's a good football team in there hiding somewhere just waiting. We look like a bad football team. And what really scares me, and the one caller mentioned he's been a big Stefanski fan. I don't think we've been 3 of the biggest Stefanski guys, but we look like a poorly coached football team.
Yeah.
We look poorly coached. Mm-hmm. We were number 2 in the league in penalties last year, and I put a lot of that on the fact we had so many 3rd and 4th string guys and practice squad guys playing, and guys never getting to practice together because we were just elevating people off practice squads midweek. Like we're number 1 this year in the league in penalties. So it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't that. We're just not disciplined. And so a thing that I thought that was a strength and that I've had a ton of confidence in this team is the head coach. And now I'm even worried, like, we look poorly coached. We look unprepared. We don't look like we're ready to go.
Nothing screamed that to me. I mean, it's going all over social media, of course, when the entire defense ran right past the penalty flag on that roughing the passer on Daniel Jones on the interception yesterday to go to the end zone to do the orchestrated celebration as the referee is announcing the penalty to bring it back and give them whatever 15 more yards. It's like, read the room, guys. I don't mind when these guys go out there and celebrate when, good things happen. Like, cool, get your mojo going. I have no problem with that. It's entertainment. Yeah. Don't be fucking stupid about it. Like, that, to me, that's undisciplined. Like, if I was Schwartz, I'd be like, I want you guys to celebrate, but why are you there's a penalty, clear penalty on the ground. Like, you tell me none of you guys saw that yellow flag? Like, come on.
I think that it sucks, and especially on that side of the ball, I think there's some major concerns. I think we're glossing over losing Callahan. I think that is going to be something. I know you don't agree with that, but I think that is way more important than people think. I'm not sure that just plugging Dickerson in was going to be the solution. As far as like the coaching thing, I feel like they've come out flat twice now at home. That was our strength last year. We came out at home. The players were hyped. The crowd was hyped. Everybody was ready to go. And for 2 home games now, we don't even look, like Blake said, we look unprepared. We've been out coached now multiple times by coaches that are on hot seats. These guys are been talked about being fired heading into this year. So for me, it's just like, God, like that's my biggest concern is that I'm not saying we're losing the locker room, but I'm wondering now, like, do we just have a bunch of guys? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I said.
Especially
on the
unit.
offensive side of the ball.
It was a team last year. They rallied, and this year I wonder.
If the way that game started. I mean, let's not gloss over the only awesome part of the game.
Couldn't have started better.
Right down the field on the kickoff, and we cause a fumble.
Yeah.
Immediately we get the ball. And then the only play we run on offense, boom, drop back, 24-yard touchdown pass to Cooper. Beautiful sideline catch on the end zone, gets both feet in, controls the ball, touchdown. It's like, holy shit, we're gonna roll these guys today. That defense should have come out, bam, 3-and-out offense gets the ball back. Let's go score. Let's stick it on these guys. I didn't feel any of that. I didn't feel any sense of urgency, any like hype from the team. Like, where's the fire? Like that, the start to that game should have had those guys flying through the roof. Yeah. And I feel like it just dwindled after that.
So the thing I want to push back on the Callahan thing.
Yeah.
Like Rob Venter says, the Titans and the Browns lead the league in sacks given up.
Sure.
What do they both have in common? Terrible quarterbacks.
Sure.
Yeah. Wait, let's put it this way. 8 sacks yesterday. I looked at PFF. They attributed 6 to the offensive line, 2 to Watson. So, offensive line was bad. Watson, again, I never said that he is beyond criticism here. That was terrible.
Sure.
Terrible. Receivers, dropping passes. What the hell, guys? Like, again, just guys. Maybe we don't have as talented of players as we thought. Cedric Tillman's supposed to be like a guy this year. Come on, dude. You get hit in the chest with a football. You're pro. Make the catch.
It's tough because, he hasn't been targeted since 2017 when he was at Tennessee. So, and then all of a sudden the game's on the line and you're going to drill him in the chest on a, you know what I mean?
The botched handoff from Watson to Ford. Like, that, obviously Watson put that in a terrible spot, hit him right in the upper chest. Like, they showed it on the broadcast replay. It was like, what the hell? It's like all the mistakes are maddening.
That I had somebody say, like, I saw somebody on X say, yeah, the handoff's not perfect, but Jerome Ford's still a professional running back. He's got to take that. And my pushback was, one of these guys was what, a second or third round? A fifth round running back making, league minimum or whatever, maybe $1 million a year. The other one had 5 draft picks given up for him and $230 million guaranteed. That guy can put it in his belly where he's supposed to put it. That handoff was all the way up on his left shoulder.
And one thing, if you've ever played running back, they teach you to, the box here to receive the handoff. Where's your upper hand?
Yeah.
It's supposed to go between your chest and your abdomen, not at your chest. Of course, that's going to get fumbled.
As the running back, you're not looking at the ball.
No, you're looking
at the line. That way,
which he struggles with enough.
Yes. So it's on the quarterback. It goes back to the quarterback. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but like, this is all stuff I said about our last quarterback, and people used to get on me about it. Everybody wanted to crown him this year. He's not very good yesterday, so I'm still going to hold out that I was right on that. But it goes back to the quarterback until you get in. And I said, at what point? I don't think you can trot this out for 17 games. You're at risk of losing the locker room. In terms of
in your job,
in your job, and you're at risk in terms of losing the locker room is if you continue to trot somebody out who is, he's statistically worse than even guys who don't start anymore. Since he's come to Cleveland, he's like 42nd. There's only 32 starting quarterbacks. If you keep trotting him out there and we keep being the worst offense in the league, the dude struggles to get to 150 yards passing most of the time. Like, he gets it in garbage time. And there's always this talk about how he's much better in the second half of games. In the fourth quarter, he's so good. Part of that is because we're getting our asses kicked so bad, the defenses aren't bringing pressure anymore. They've got, we're up. We did not come back because we started playing better. We started to come back because the Giants are up 2 scores in the fourth quarter. They're not going to be blitzing guys. They're not going to be bringing pressures. They're going to just sit back, make us dink and dunk it, not give up the big play, and protect their lead. And all of a sudden, we start to look a little bit better for 2 drives. It wasn't because of all of a sudden we figured it out. It was because we started playing a preseason type defense. And that's all we can go against, apparently. So And it doesn't do any good to have great fourth quarter stats if you quarters 1 through 2.5 and 3 are just abysmal and you're down by 2-3 scores every fourth quarter. But I lost my train of thought in terms of where I was going. What was I saying?
I don't know, but
there's just so much bad in my brain.
Actually, let me build off something you were saying there, though, was yesterday was the type of game where what happened last year on the road in Baltimore should have happened yesterday, where the first half was rough and the defense gave up some points, let the other team march down, score, all that kind of stuff. Second half, what happened last year? Defense came out, shut them down, forced turnovers. They scored. Yesterday, defense didn't give up a point in the second half.
Yeah, made adjustments.
They made adjustments, and they came out, and because the defense didn't play very well in the first half, that second half was great. They gave the offense every opportunity in the world to go down there and score or take the lead, and we didn't do it. Like, the offense couldn't do it, and it's like, this is not the same. Like, this is not what we saw last year at all. We don't have it anywhere in there.
So going into halftime, I was like, I don't think they're going to make an adjustment on Neighbors. I think that they're literally just going to leave Ward on one side, Emerson on his own. So to see them actually make that adjustment, because I don't know if that's ever happened.
To be fair, the adjustment shouldn't have been too hard. So Martin Emerson, first of all, the PFF grades came out. Worst graded player on our defense by far, total bottom of the list. Targeted 5 times, gave up 4 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Malik Neighbors had 3 of his catches for 43 yards and a touchdown, and I think he only had 3 catches for 16 yards. Anywhere else against anyone else.
No, it was bad. He was getting cooked
destroyed.
For sure. He had a very bad game.
I want to address some of the comments in here. I can't wait for our fan base to stop being so fucking negative. If that means Deshaun Watson got to go, then do it. It's constant bitching, even when we win, is so annoying. Yes,
agreed.
But we didn't win. Yeah. We lost horribly again to a team that we had we were all thinking this is a tune-up game. We were touchdown favorites at home. And then the same guy says, can't wait to switch out Watson. We'll still have the same issues. Blaming Watson alone is how we end up here. Pastor Rob says that it's not just on Watson. I never said it's just on Watson.
No, and
it's primarily, it can be more of one person. There can be multiple issues and still be more of this guy's fault. Because again, the reason we are running empty sets and 5 wide and empty backfield and why we're doing this is because of him. It was tailor made for him to succeed. So it goes back to him. He is supposed to be the guy. Yes, maybe we don't pass block as great as we need to on all the plays, but he can get rid of the ball. He can elude the pressure. He can make plays. Yeah, we don't run the ball as well, but he's explosive. He'll pick up first downs with his feet. He is supposed to be that guy. We built this offense around him. If we weren't going to do that, we could have just kept Baker and kept running play action boot and having a number 1 receiver who catches for 900 yards and we score 27 points a game and we look okay, but we're never like a dominant offense. But we went and got this guy and Taylor made the offense for him and he's not good enough to run it. So yes, all of your issues are going to then stem from that problem. Yes, we're not a great blocking line. This guy's supposed to help make up for some of that. He doesn't help make up for it. We look like dog shit. Yeah, we don't run the ball that well. This guy's supposed to be able to help with that. We're supposed to be able to run RPOs off of him. That way he can take off or we can get, quick passes out on the perimeter of these guys. He's not good enough. He can't read a defense. We don't do that. We don't have any like top end speed guys on the outside, but Deshaun's going to run around and make plays and he's going to make them look better. No, he doesn't. Okay. So yes, I'm not saying the line is great. I'm not saying our receivers are good. I'm saying the guy who's supposed to help with that we gave up a ransom for, that I was happy to give up, isn't living up to that billing, and it's making all the pieces around him crumble. And some people are saying I think Pastor Rob said he's worried that it's coming from the guy at the top. I don't know if he meant Haslam or if he's talking about Stefanski. I'm going to be way more patient with the guy who has won Coach of the Year twice and taken us to the playoffs twice and has somewhat stabilized the worst culture in football for my entire life over the guy who, since he's been here, has done nothing for us.
Yeah.
So one of them's going to get a longer leash than the other.
Totally. But there's still a leash because like we started out saying earlier, this team looks like total shit, unprepared,
Sure.
poorly coached, undisciplined.
Hurts to say
and that
that.
does go back to Stefanski, and he's not beyond criticism. I love Kevin too. I'm a big Kevin guy. I love that he got the extension. We all did. Like, we're all pumped about it. We have seen probably Kevin's worst times in Cleveland come when Baker was injured and when Deshaun plays. Is that fair?
I would say that's fair.
So I think I'm seeing some sort of common denominator, and we'll see how it plays out, but they have got to do something because, like you said, Blake, it's making everybody bad. I mean, we thought we had a future starting right tackle in DeJuan Jones. He looks like James Hudson out there. Like, and I see like some football coaches and stuff on Twitter saying like he just looks big, like he just looks too fat, too heavy, like he's got too much weight on him this year compared to last year. He can't move.
Yeah,
and they're talking. Who was it? Coach Matt Wilson on Twitter here. I was just, some of the stuff he posted was interesting. He said, the Andy Dickerson, the new O-line coach, he's not detail oriented like Bill when it comes to pass protection. Most of their tackles are short setting for some reason, regardless of the pass rusher they're against. DeJuan only takes 2-ish kicks here before opening his hips and squaring. He should be taking 3 to 4 full strides before engaging with the defender. And he said that James Hudson has the same problem. It's much easier to recover as a bigger offensive lineman when you overset versus underset against the speed rusher. So basically, they've got these guys doing wrong techniques for their body types and everything. And it's just, you can tell nothing works. It looks terrible. And I even put in here in the notes about Jerome Ford. Like, Jerome Ford's expected rush yards over average is actually positive. It's like 1.09 or something this year. It was like 9th best in the NFL. And he sucks. Like, he's not getting any yards. His yards per carry is like 3 something. I mean, he's not going anywhere, and yet he's still getting more than expected. That just shows you how bad the line is at everything right now.
Yeah. They're not playing well.
Nobody.
The offense, and what scares me is we heard reports out of camp that the offense didn't look well. They didn't look very good. It was not, the reports weren't good about the offense. And then in the preseason, we saw all of the issues. And then, and it just translated into the regular season. I mean, are we going to ever get to 20 points? I'm worried that we're a 4-win football team because we're not going to score. We're not going to score on the Steelers.
I know. I was thinking about that too.
We're not going to score on the Ravens. We're going to struggle to score on the Bengals because they got a good pass rush. Trey Hendrickson will friggin' have 10 sacks.
I'm worried about Max Crosby next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the offense is so bad that every game is going to be a dogfight unless they figure this out. And I just don't know how this figures out. Somebody said Deshaun's got to be Superman now. Tell me a team that won with a bad O-line and bad. Yes, he does. Yes, he has to be Superman. Yes. That is why he is here. Is it not? Am I crazy? Or did we not give up 6 draft picks and $230 million?
So just to play a little bit with what he said there, like, I could understand that. And we talked about even week 1 up there against Dallas. Like, oh, man, because people are like, oh, we need Flacco back. I'm like, dude, there ain't nobody playing quarterback behind this line right now. The pressure's intense. But then there's like Elijah Moore is wide open heading to the end zone yesterday in the zone. All Deshaun had to do was put the ball on him, and he probably scores. I doubt he gets tackled there. I'm sure momentum carries him into the end zone. Just sails it. Fucking sails it way over his head. It's like, where's this coming from now? Last year it was dirt balls. This year it's air balls. If it weren't for those types of plays, I'd give a little bit more like credit to the O-line problems. But man, it's like even whenever the throws are there and the plays are actually work, we miss them.
Well, and again, like I said, we had a quarterback who ran an explosive offense with this offensive line less than a year ago. Froholt was playing center. Was that last year?
That was
2 years ago. I mean, the offensive line was just as bad last year. It just looks worse because the quarterback is holding the ball forever. And we're not in any kind of sets to help because supposedly the quarterback isn't a play action, precision based timing, getting to the back foot into his drop and letting go. That's not his game. So we had to build it around what his game was. So to say that no quarterback would look great behind this offensive line as is. But my argument is that if you put a quarterback back there that could read a defense pre-snap and would know where to go the ball in 2.5 seconds, the line wouldn't look as bad. That's
No,
what
I
I'm saying.
totally understand because he's given them all kinds of time to get there. And one thing that you made me think of there was, if he's holding the ball this long, where's all the downfield passing plays? Because you got to think, like, obviously a quarterback has to hold the ball a little longer for downfield plays to open up and develop and all that kind of stuff. But we still have none of that, even despite the long time to throw. I mean, plays of 20-plus yards yesterday, we only threw 4. We completed 2 for 47 yards. One of them was that first play for the touchdown. After that, only 1 play over 20 the rest of the game. From 10 to 19 yards, this was like, to me, like, holy shit. 1 of 5 for 12 yards on the game in the intermediate range. No wonder we can't move the ball anywhere. All of our throws between 0 and 9 yards, so less than 10 yards, 15 of 19 for 98 yards and a touchdown. Excellent. Great. We have nothing downfield. Nothing. Which, for as long as the ball is being held, just blows my mind.
Go ahead, dog.
What do you want? Can we actually, let's do that ad read real quick and we'll play a voicemail. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
We're going to just play a quick ad for you guys. You're just going to see our pretty faces because I don't have the video.
Hey, Dog Pack. Football season is the best time of the year, and it's here to stay until the Super Bowl in February. So get more out of football season with Underdog Fantasy, and you can win 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite players' stats like touchdowns, passing yards, receptions, whatever you want. I've been playing Underdog Fantasy for years now. If you've watched any of our fantasy talk before the season, you know I have like over 12 best ball leagues on Underdog here for 2024, but you could play contests all season long. The Underdog app is awesome. It's easy to use, and it's one of my personal favorites. Making picks on Underdog is simple, and signing up is even easier. Just download the Underdog mobile app or go to underdogfantasy.com, sign up using our promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. And you can also use our preferred fantasy sports link at signupexpert.com/dogs to access this great offer on Underdog and also see all the other offers available to you. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code DAWGS, DAWGS to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 or older, 21 or older in Massachusetts and Arizona, 19 and over in Alabama and Nebraska, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP, 1-800-639-8783, or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7-HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Man, the spam bots are out in the chat, though, aren't they?
Game streaming at
Jeez, I'm seeing them pop in here.
NFLHD.com.
I want to say something real quick before we get to a voicemail.
Yeah, go for it.
Mahomes would be a bum in Cleveland with this trash O-line and no run game. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. Because we watched him play in a Super Bowl with a terrible offensive line and no run game. And yes, they got killed, but you watched that game and you didn't think Patrick Mahomes doesn't know how to play football anymore. He was the best player out there. He made some crazy throws. It wasn't on him. He was the only reason they had any shot ever at any point in that game. You watch the Browns play football right now, and you are watching a guy that doesn't look like he knows how to play the quarterback position in the NFL. You don't look this inept. If you're even a top 10 quarterback, even behind a bad offensive line and with not great receivers, you don't look this lost. He looks lost. That's my thing. It's not like you're seeing him out there and he's making some plays and it's just like, everybody's letting him down. He looks lost. Part of the reason the line is so bad, again, is because he doesn't get rid of the ball. He should know where the ball is. He should know pre-snap, I'm going to go here or I'm going to go here. Yeah, I'm watching this guy. And if this guy does this, I'm going here. And if this guy does this, I'm going here. That's not happening. He's making it easy on defenses. The only other guy who's playing even close to this bad just got benched. You think everybody in North Carolina was saying Bryce Young, the Panthers screwed Bryce Young, put no talent around him. Coaches are terrible. Ownership did him dirty. They benched him. And they come out and beat the Raiders, and Andy Dalton throws 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, only quarterback this season to do it so far. Maybe, just maybe, Bryce Young was really bad at football. It's the same stuff.
Yeah. So B33Z Craigslist. I wonder if that's Leroy Bickerstaff. Says so now DW4 has to block, throw, catch, and be the run game wide receiver, running back, O-line, all trash. He says this in all caps. I'm just saying.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think we have a huge, like that is part of the problem, but I'm very nervous that we got a lot of issues at a lot of places.
Well,
organizationally too, you know what I mean? Like as far as just top to bottom, I don't
disagree one bit with anything you're saying. Like I know we were texting back and forth like all morning and stuff. Like I'm with you 100%, but I like what Justin was just saying. The quarterback is a big issue.
Yeah, sure.
But changing that out, like a lot of people seem to think, and I know it's not what you're saying, but I know a lot of people online seem to think like just switch the quarterback out, problems are solved. Like it might give a spark. It might get some passes out faster. It might do some things, but we still have problems. Like we've got long-term fucking problems on that offensive line. Our running back room. Actually, let me play a voicemail, and then we'll get into the running game situation because I just about went into that. So here's Brad.
What's up, Browns fans? This is Brad Moneymaker. Yo. So, oh, wait, what's this? There's somebody coming into my house right now? What? This is Brad from the past, the early 2000s Browns fan? Oh, man. You know, one day we'll have our quarterback of the future. Oh, no. Not again. Are we at this point where we still don't have our quarterback? Yeah, I don't know, guy. All right. Well, guys, you know, I don't know. Me and Deshaun had some time, some points. He did good and did bad. Looked okay and then looked terrible. I don't know what to say. Offensive line is complete, utter trash. The defense was decent at times, but also would give up big plays once again. And Hopkins missed a kick. It was coaches, everything all around just terrible. And it's going to be a long season if we keep playing like this. I don't know what to say. Oh, here we go. Woof, woof. Yeah.
I do
awesome. Drink up, boys.
I do got a couple things with that. Like, as far as like special teams go, I know we missed a kick, but that was like the first one he had missed in like 10, 50 yarder.
It was what, 50 some, right?
53, 52,
okay. He's never missed
like
a 50 yarder since being in Cleveland.
You had a huge play at the beginning of the game on special teams.
Yeah.
A forced turnover. I think Corey B is like one of the best players on our team right now.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know what I mean? Like, I don't know how we say special teams is awful.
He's like a young Chris Gardocki.
So
throwback to all you old Browns fans.
My thing, like, if we ever got to positive, I was going to say that, like, there are some things that are okay. It's just, man, there is a lot of bad right now, and it's overwhelming, and it's compounded just 10 times because you're losing to a bad football team.
So Jossel says change of QB might see more 12 personnel and under center run game play action. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yes, the offensive line will all of a sudden get better, but if you put in Winston at quarterback and you get under center more, and then you put Nick Harrison at fullback, and you get your running backs running downhill, and you get a little bit of run game, and then you do your play action boot stuff off of that, and all of a sudden it's our last 10 games last year. And I'm not saying Jameis Winston will come in and be a Pro Bowl quarterback and take us to the Super Bowl, but there could be a stark difference between that and, I mean, we would be better off just not going on offense.
No, absolutely. And what you're saying just makes me think that honestly, the quickest way to patch this thing up for the season, because we still got a lot of games to play, would be get rid of Ken Dorsey, Kevin take over the offense again, run your offense, put Winston in and roll it like you're saying. The play action, the heavy run, let's just ground and pound. I think that would be the quickest patch. Because whatever they planned all summer and built, this shit ain't working. I don't know if Ken Dorsey survives the season. No.
And you texted it to me before I could text it to you either late yesterday or early today was maybe our immediate reaction to the Ken Dorsey signing where we were all like, what the fuck? Why did we pick him? And then maybe that was the right reaction. And if anybody's been watching the show for a while, that was the guy we all wanted the least. When it was like, we're interviewing all these people, we were like, anybody but Ken Dorsey. And then we had picked him, and then it's like we went out and we found numbers and we find stuff to talk us in, and we talked ourselves into thinking,
we did.
Okay, this could be good. This could be a really good thing. And it's looking like, no, it's not. Because all Buffalo's done since he left is win. And all we've done since he's got here is look a million times worse than we've ever have on offense.
Yesterday for me was a huge Ken Dorsey problem too, looking back at it now, because when we talked about it today, when we were texting everything, like the Bills fired him because they weren't running the ball enough. They were losing games because they were just trying to throw the ball everywhere. Josh Allen's throwing interceptions and things, like they were losing. And it's like, we need to just run the ball and control the line, control the clock. And look what it does for good teams. You can win, especially if you got a decent quarterback who can then come in and make the throws when you need to. What the hell happened yesterday at the run game?
We ran the ball 12 times the entire game.
12 running back carries against a team that I said so many times last week on the preview. Yeah. They're giving up 165 fucking yards to other teams on the ground. They just gave up 215 to the Commanders. We ran the ball 12 times.
It's crazy.
For 42 yards. Fucking pathetic.
Keep going.
No, I was just.
My only pushback on that is Ken Dorsey doesn't call the plays.
Well, okay, so I understand that.
We have run plays in the offense. If Kevin Stefanski wants to run them, he can run them. He's the one calling the plays.
No, I get it, but it goes back to what you're saying too. Like, that's not how the offense was built. So Kevin's probably like, well, fuck, that's what we're supposed to be running. Deshaun can't do it.
That is my.
I would just say, just to keep the defense honest, and they're blitzing. I think the number I saw coming into this game, Giants were blitzing like 20-something% of the time. They blitzed like 58% of the plays yesterday. So they full set. And then that's more like some coaching stuff too. I'm like, why can't we just make an adjustment? You know what I mean? Why can't we do that?
I don't. TK, I can't take you serious anymore. Delusional fan base think overrated roster is great without Watson. He's got to be a Watson burner account.
What about B's Craigslist too?
Yes,
he's been Bickerstaffing us all day.
This is the offensive line and receivers we had that won 11 games last year with all the different quarterbacks. It's the same line.
You just said that D-Dub-4 was the lone bright spot in this game. Not a single other offensive player did squat.
I'd say it was Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper was clearly the lone bright spot on the offense.
I would say Amari Cooper and shades of Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford looked all right.
Shades.
Thought he ran hard.
I thought he looked better after there was an initial 5 carries were bad, and then it opened up. Then there was some 10-yard. There was a 12-yard chunk play. There were some chunk plays in there, and he looked explosive.
The run game with Foreman, he got 14 carries. Actually, had 16 or 17 carries. 2 or 3 got called back from penalty last week against Jacksonville, and then Ford came in and had 6, 7 carries, but he had 70 yards. I mean, he's more efficient when you don't make him the featured back. Don't hand him the ball over. He's not a bruiser. He's not a pounder. He doesn't wear anybody down. That's Foreman. It was 2 carries.
I think it was the third quarter. I texted the Patreon text thread and said, "Did Foreman die?" And nobody reported it. Where is he?
Yeah.
I said, "What? Why is he not in? Why did he not get any touches?"
It just blows my mind that we're fans. And we're sitting here doing quick analysis for a preview game on a podcast, and we say, hey, this team really blows at the run, defending the run. We should probably give them a heavy dose of Foreman and Ford. And what do we do? Not that.
It's almost like they listened to our preview show where I said, I don't want to just grind this game.
They did what you wanted.
Yeah, I don't want to just grind this game out. If we get up big, I want to, still throw the ball around, get Watson his confidence back, I throw it 50 times But the caveat to that was,
it's got to be working.
If we were winning and we were scoring points, in the preview episode, I didn't say I want to come out and throw 50 times if we were going to have 20 yards of offense. Dude, I was, even if we come out and we're throwing the ball, and even if we get up a couple scores, keep the pressure on to kind of work out some of the kinks. No, hey man, maybe we should go back to maybe Foreman should get a couple touches because that seemed to work last week.
I was thinking about that when I was watching the game, and I'm going, why are we just throwing the ball all the time for nothing? And I'm like, well, Blake did say, come throw it around the yard and see how it goes, and we're kind of finding out. I mean, I'm seeing guys in the chat and stuff we've been very high on Watson since he's been here and defended him and things, and you kind of just have to change with new information. You can't just listen. You can't have take lock.
There hasn't been a show or a Browns thing that has defended and gone to bat for Deshaun more than the Dawgs, a Cleveland Browns podcast.
Ooh.
To the point that we got invited we interviewed him.
Yep.
Okay. So trust me, I don't say it lightly. I mean, I met the guy and he signed my stuff for me and he was very nice to me. So I don't take it lightly to come out and say that he's playing awful and I don't know if he can play better. But I'm also not going to sit up here and just because he was nice to me and because he let me interview him, sugarcoat it and not tell you the way I see it. There'd be no credibility. You never listen to me again. I'm going to tell you the way I see it. And he can be a nice person to me and interview my stuff and at the same time not be playing good football. Like that's just the way it is.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough in them streets for these Browns right now. I just how's the therapy session going, guys, in the chat? Just let us know. I mean, other than I don't know if we've got trolls or what's going on in here. I know we've got a lot of spam bots.
Maybe you guys can trade for that Tampa QB Baker Mayfield.
Oh, stop.
Hard
Fucking
pass.
stop that shit.
Hard
Jeez,
pass.
criminy.
He just got murdered by the Broncos. No. Yeah, let's let a full season play out. Baker's still yet to have back-to-back good seasons, and he's playing a number one schedule this year. And so let's just let the whole season play out. I'm still going to go out on a limb and say at the end of the season, nobody is saying Baker Mayfield's going to win a Super Bowl.
No.
And it turns out we aren't the last team to get rid of him. I've been over this. Who looks more clown, us or the team that he's in the division with that had him more recently than us, that has a quarterback problem, and now this quarterback that was on their team plays them twice a year? To me, that's worse than anything we did. The fact that we moved on from him and then two other teams also moved on from him says maybe we weren't wrong.
Well, and people need to remember, too, like when we moved on from him, we did it for a quarterback who had at least proven at the NFL level he could play elite football. The Panthers moved on from him to get a high draft pick to draft an unproven rookie who's got, 18 games and that's it?
Yep,
And they know, we ain't got the guy.
Justin, somebody likes your white jacket.
Sweet.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, brother. I almost wore my dog chain in here, but I figured that was kind of not a good look considering we got beat by the Giants yesterday, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough right now. And the part of the problem too is I think that a lot of us came into this and we should have with high hopes. I mean, we look like we made the playoffs last year. We felt like we were bringing everything back. I think that's a big part of it is, we kind of feel like we just keep kind of going back and being trustful and getting hurt.
Well, and even after last year, we took strides and we looked like we were getting better. And it's like, wow, we get our healthy guys back. Like we're going to be so much improved. And now through 3 games, all we've done is take multiple steps backward.
Bad, yes.
And it's like, that's the most frustrating part is what?
And to the point where now I'm already I feel like I'm already defending Kevin Stefanski. I'm defending Andrew Berry again. It's like, it's 2022 all over again.
Yeah.
And for me, I've said this many a times, I hate when the fans boo at the stadium. To me, it's such a kick in the nuts. But
it brings everything down for your team, for your fan base, for your team, but it also boosts the other team because they're like, yeah, we got their own fans dogging them.
I think you're going to be shocked by what I'm going to say, but I think that they have every right now to give him a little. Give him a little.
My wife said that yesterday. She's like,
and
are the fans boo? And I said, yes.
It sucks. I hate it. I really hate it. But as they're going up to the game. They're probably spending a lot of money to go up there. They're bringing their family, their whole day. That's what they're doing. And then, that's what you get. And obviously, that's part of the fanatic thing. Maybe we should just not give a shit so much, but Cleveland is a great sports city, always has been. It's just, I think that's where it kind of just leaves a really bad taste in people's mouths because it's like, damn, we've had 2 home games where that's our strength. That's been the bill for years. Come into Cleveland, it's going to be rocking. We're going to make it. It's not easy to play here, and we've just absolutely, as a team, collectively, just kind of laid some eggs.
Big
you know
time.
what I mean?
So real quick, but I know we're kind of getting up against it on time and everything. We'll go however long you guys want to go. It doesn't matter to me. But so White Teller, knee injury. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks, potentially an IR candidate.
Yeah.
So that means we're going to see the rookie Zach Zinter right guard. We'll see what he has. Maybe we've got a future player in him. At least we're going to get to find out a little bit about him. I did want to say, as far as like bright spots from yesterday, because it's been a lot of negative, Myles fucking Garrett yesterday was on 2 bum feet, hurt his knee. He had the highest PFF defense grade, 93.5. I think he had the 3rd or 4th highest across the entire league yesterday on defense. He had 9 pressures on 25 pass rushes. I said 45.8% win rate. I know Steelers fans hate that because they can't comprehend it, but it was easily the highest pass rush win rate in the NFL. This week, the next highest was 30.4% from Jalen Carter. And basically what I was seeing is the Giants were scheming to get, kind of like the Cowboys did with Prescott, get Jones away from Garrett's rush side. He made Andrew Thomas his bitch yesterday. I mean, he basically gave him piggyback rides every play because Andrew Thomas was all over him, couldn't stop him. And if Myles Garrett had been playing on the Giants defensive line against us, he'd have had 8 sacks by himself.
Yeah. No, I think before we get out of here, the defense to me has been solid for 3 games, in my opinion. Like, have they been like dominant to the point like we saw sometimes last year where, I mean, Joe Burrow doesn't even throw for 100 yards? No, but the Browns defense has been plenty good enough to get for the Browns could be 3-0 with the defense they've played with. I don't think it's crazy for Malik Neighbors to have a good first half against us. First of all, he's a top 5 pick for a reason. He's a dude. Second, it's the first time we've ever faced him. There's not a ton of film on him. It was only the 3rd game of the year. So for it to take a couple drives to make an adjustment and kind of, adjust on the fly and then put the clamps on him to the point. I mean, we should have won this game and we had zero business winning this game because of the defense. So I think the defense has been plenty good enough through the first 3 games that the Browns could be 3-0. I think there's still room that they could improve. I mean, we still get killed on jet sweeps and quick screens and that kind of stuff and like back-breaking long drives every now and then. But overall, the defense has been plenty good enough for us to win football games. And I think like they'll continue to get better and adjust and that kind of stuff. But I just don't – I mean, we might have to hold teams to 3 points to win games.
We're definitely not scoring 20 anytime soon. You guys saw the chart I sent with the EPA, the graph and everything. And I mean, you look at this chart, and maybe I'll throw it up here in the post edit, but sorry for you live guys. I mean, this just explains exactly what we're feeling when we watch the game. I mean, the Browns defense is slightly above average, league average at defense EPA per play. The offense, dead last.
Tough.
Worse than the Titans, the Panthers, the Dolphins, who are out there doing nothing without Tua.
The Bears are one of the most inept offenses I've ever seen.
The Broncos, they're all better than us. Like a good bit better.
Yeah.
It's rough.
It's tough.
It's
Very
bad.
tough.
So I don't know where we go from here. I guess we'll find out. Maybe they'll shock us because I'm going to be out. I'm flying really far to go watch us play a game when I live, only an hour and a half from our stadium. So hopefully they show up with a little bit more energy this week.
I hope so for you guys' sake. I know it's going to be, I wish I was going with you guys out to Vegas. I'd be a little less excited if I was, just because I'm like, this is the team I'm going out to watch.
Now I'm just excited to just go check out Allegiant in Vegas, and like the Browns being there is cool.
And maybe they win.
Where before it was like, I can't wait to go out and see the Browns, and I'll get to be in Vegas for a little bit. And it's kind of flip-flopped. So we'll see. But we got to wrap this thing up. It's just been an hour. I just feel worse now than I did.
Just wipe this.
Well, we got a lot off our
clean.
chest.
Yeah.
We got to talk it out.
New week. Wipe the slate clean. Hopefully we're addressing some issues. You know what I mean? As far as in the locker room and stuff like that. And then,
and so far for you, Blake, I mean, we are undefeated on the road so far this year. So that does bode well for your chances to see a victory out there in Vegas,
Yep, and the Raiders are coming. The Raiders are coming off a bad loss.
Distractions in Vegas.
So yeah,
dude, the Raiders getting embarrassed by the Panthers at home makes me so much more nervous for this game. It really does.
The Max Crosby thing, like,
it ain't gonna be good.
And is the interview for Deshaun happening this week too?
I believe so.
So who knows what's going to happen between now and Sunday or Thursday when we do a preview episode? Like, I mean, he might not. I doubt it's that fast, but he might be suspended this week. Who knows what's going to happen? And honestly, at this point, it might be like the best thing to happen.
just gonna do a lot of praying to Jesus. Me and the good Lord are gonna get right, and we're gonna get this team turned around. So this is my punishment.
Well, we'll wrap this thing up.
Thank you guys for hanging out with another.
I'm gonna go home
session.
and
Cry myself to sleep like I
listen
did
to
last
happy
night.
music. We appreciate you guys being here, helping us get through another rough Monday. At least we had somebody to talk about, get this stuff off our chest with. We appreciate all the support you guys have given us on these shows. So even when the Browns play bad, we know we can come out here, do a live with you guys, and the chat will be good. Have a lot of good stuff to talk about. So thanks for that. Help getting us through the week. We appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you guys tune in later this week when we preview the upcoming matchup with the Raiders. Again, if you're going to be out in Vegas, hit up look up the Browns Backers Bash. You can find me and Kenny Mack out there. I'll be there for a few days. So it'll be cool to link up with anybody who's out there, especially a Dog Pack member. Can't wait to meet you guys, hang out for a couple of days. So again, thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you guys later this week when we preview the Raiders.